Bitcoin 2022 in Miami is well underway. Peter Thiel has had some ripper headlines and has said some fantastic stuff about the industry. Let's dive into that today and also look at the update for Bitcoin as it holds the support line for now and what we can expect in the coming 24 to 48 hours. Also, I want to touch on Near protocols, had a nice decent pump on the back of some rumors, and then also dive into the rest of the adoption with Binance and FTX. So without further ado, do the good thing and then like the video up, smash that subscribe button with the bell notification on, and also check out the links to our sponsors in the description. Bybit, you've got another week left to score yourself $4,100 in sign-up bonuses using that link down below. And there's also our Patreon for our trading portfolios. All right, let's dive in. The market sentiment is fearful, but not so bad after the last 24 hours. We've seen the S&P bounce back, down 7% from the all-time high, but in the last 24 hours, it's up 0.4%. So this did drop back to the major 50% level of the bear market, or the bear decline from the highs in January. So we're still finding a little bit of ground here, and I think this is playing out into the Bitcoin price as well. So we've seen the last 48 hours, it did fall from 47 to 42 and a touch, and now we're climbing back above $43,500. So there's our 50% level. This is coming in nicely on the weekly 50% level. So we're just stretching it back to a more macro view, looking at the last 1 to 3 weeks up, dividing that price in half, coming out at 42,900. So far we're getting a close above that. We still have 3 days to go for the weekly close. So ideally, even though we're back into a slightly weaker sense because we're underneath previous highs of 45,000, we want to see this market, Bitcoin that is, close above 42,900 to maintain some strength, build the base. And you know how the saying goes. You start to climb the stair steps, the higher highs and the higher lows to take on that 48K again. Now, it might be slower going because we have dropped under 45K, but provided we don't close underneath that 42.9, I think we've still got some bullish case left in this move. Now to what Thiel said at the Bitcoin 2022 conference in Miami. So he's basically blasted everyone and everything in the old traditional finance legacy game. Thiel blasts Diamond, Buffett, and Fink, CEO of BlackRock, as finance gerontocracy, new word for me, at Bitcoin 2022. Billionaire calls Berkshire CEO a sociopathic grandpa. Fed Chair Powell also criticized. So Peter Thiel has rattled off everything here. It's not that I don't disagree with him. So I agree with him in a lot of these senses. And I don't know if that's his game that he's playing either. So I'm going to take a little bit of a different side to this. Maybe it is slightly controversial. But when it comes to riling up audiences, like we saw with the Trump administration, if you can get a whole lot of people on your side, then it's much easier to push the ball in your direction. So I'm always a little bit skeptical about this. Let me know in the comments down below if you are skeptical as well, or if you think I'm just being far too skeptical. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Essentially what I'm saying here is he's gone out and blasted everyone at a conference which is already pro Bitcoin, and then obviously blasting the opposite side, the legacy traditional finance, which is then calling Bitcoin a rat poison, like we heard with Warren Buffett. So Thiel blames the finance titans for the digital currency's failure to reach 100 grand benchmark, popular amongst asset diehard supporters. So I don't know if I completely agree with that it's their fault when we start to get in that sort of game. Then you can just blame anything and anyone for prices not reaching whatever. And we go back to a BitBoy game, blaming other people for prices not reaching the targets that we set. You know, I'll take my own responsibility. If the price didn't reach it, I've got to change my strategy. But nonetheless, Thiel blasted some very good comments here. Also at Powell, people like this should be extremely grateful to Bitcoin because it's the last warning they're going to get. Thiel said they've chosen to ignore it and they'll have to pay the consequences for it in the years ahead. The thing I do like what Thiel has said here, obviously the 100x return on Bitcoin from this price sounds absolutely amazing. I think it's going to take a long time for that to happen. To go from 45,000 to 100x is $4.5 million. We've got a long way to go for that. Plus the the market cap of Bitcoin is going to have to go from 800 billion to 100x of that, if you can do the maths. Peter Thiel's also predicted it will surpass the market cap of gold. I think a lot of us are looking at that, and also 100x what it is today. Now, to the juicy stuff. When you're thinking ESG, so this is in relation to all of the mining FUD that Bitcoin uses a ton of power. He's saying when you're thinking ESG, you should be thinking CCP, so Chinese Communist Party. Thiel proclaimed, referencing China's governing Communist Party. So when we go down the route of environmental, sustainability, and green, and all these buzzwords, it's essentially leaning towards a CCP. So I 100% agree with Thiel in this regard, unless I'm missing the mark. I do believe in what Elon Musk is talking about, and obviously making things renewable and green so we can use them for the future. But when it's used as ammo, as targeting the opposite side because it's not green enough, without understanding the purpose of the product itself, in this case, Bitcoin, and then calling it not green, that is definitely going down the path of more communist type thoughts. Something as good as Bitcoin needs to use power because that's how it is protected and that's how wealth is stored. We use power in every day. You've got air cons pumping at the moment. People use washing machines. We've seen the stats before. Things use power that are valuable. Of course, everything can be greener. I'm definitely down for that, but it shouldn't be used as a way to start a war between two different products. Other news announcements from the Bitcoin conference. Jack Mallers' Strike, so his mobile app that you can pay with crypto, announces Shopify integrations. Now you can use that with other e-commerce businesses to pay for goods and services with cryptocurrency on the Bitcoin Lightning payments network. So I don't think this was as big of an announcement that everyone was waiting for, nor do I think this was the exact reason why Bitcoin fell in the last 36 hours. But nonetheless, it wasn't as big as everyone thought it would be. But obviously, it's the start of more adoption within cryptocurrency across e-commerce as well. Now for the juicy one, Near Protocol. This is a crypto that I looked at in March as altcoins for March. I had Near in that, I had Luna, and we were looking at Atom at that point as well. History shows Luna's obviously been fantastic since that point. Near also has been doing relatively well. Now, it did need it to get through some support levels, and it's now since found its ground from that $11 price point when the video was out to now $17. Now, this could be off the back of the rumor that says the stablecoin that is going to be launched on the 20th of April called USN will be 20%. So this sounds very similar to the Luna ecosystem, or the Terra Luna ecosystem, and UST going on to Anchor Protocol to earn yourself that 19% APR at the moment. And obviously that's going to fluctuate 1.5% per month, depending on how much the network is being used. And now this might be the start of the next layer one, bringing out a similar sort of marketing ploy to bring on more user adoption into the network. Near is launching an algo stablecoin 20th of April called USN. Rumors say the APR will be 20%. Of course, similar to Luna. In the last 8 hours, Near rose 21.5%. Now, if this day doesn't close higher than yesterday, and more importantly, the top at the moment on the 4th of April, now it's not the all-time high, but it is still a recent top, then it looks like a lower top is forming. So that's a bit of a bearish case in the meantime. What we want to see is this price start to get a little higher than that top, which is at $18. So keep an eye out for an $18 or more close for Near. Otherwise, this is basically a news pump and dump. As for the Death Cross and the Golden Cross, Near got so close to hitting a death cross back on the 31st of March. If we take a look at where the prices were, the yellow being the 50-day and the 200 being the blue line. So the blue line's 200-day moving average. The yellow, $10.80, and the blue was $10.79. So it came within 1 cent of a death cross. You could say that that was a very near close call. In other news for Near, they raised $350 million. This is their second 9-figure raise this year. So essentially they've raised $500 million in 2022, basically $500 million. And the funding round was led by hedge fund Tiger Global in a bid to accelerate the decentralization of the NEAR ecosystem. More news announcements of adoption and development in the crypto space. Pantera Capital sets out another $200 million. I feel like every time I open up news articles, it's always Pantera raising more and more money. So that led me to see what the hell is going on with Pantera. Pantera total assets under management. They have a total of $5.6 billion in assets under management. I know that's spread across 9 different funds. So it looks like they're going to continue to build this out, and there's no shortage of people trying to throw money at cryptocurrency at the moment. Speaking of which, Goldman Sachs is also trying to cash in on this yet again. To offer, they're offering over-the-counter, so OTC ETH Options. This is through their partner Galaxy Digital. That's with their ETH fund. A survey by Goldman Sachs, obtained by The Block, suggested that 60% of its clients expect to increase their digital asset holdings over the next 1 to 2 years. So although it takes time, it looks like people are still wanting to get more and more into cryptocurrency. So the lower prices, of course, seem like pretty good opportunities if we're looking to dollar cost average or build the positions on more blue chip cryptocurrencies. Some more big staking news came from Binance lately. So this is for UST. As I said earlier in the video when we were looking at NEAR, UST can earn you 19.4% on the Anchor protocol, which is obviously in the Terra ecosystem. This time, Binance is launching their own staking for UST at 19.6%, but the catch is the max locked staking limit per user is only 200 UST over 90 days. Now, the only one that is probably worthwhile is if you got $2,000 or 30 grand of UST, but again, that's slightly lower here at 16.85 and basically 14% only for the 30 days. Now, I had a look at them. These two are sold out at the moment because I don't think anyone's too interested in 20% on $200. Not offending anyone with $200, but this is the only one that's left at the moment, whereas these are sold out. And so if you want to get back into them after being in them already, probably gonna have to keep a very close eye on any openings on Binance. I'll leave a link to Binance if you want to use that link to sign up down below and get yourself discounts on trading commissions over there. Some big news announcements out of the Bitcoin conference in Miami. Of course, these tend to play havoc on the short-term price movements, but longer term, we're obviously seeing that development and adoption, my 2 favorite words for 2022, coming into play. There's definitely some action being taken on all fronts, whether it's traditional finance, legacy finance, or even the new guys making sure that we are getting some connection between the retail investors and the products and services that they want to buy using cryptocurrency. We'll continue to keep an eye on NEAR as it gets nearer towards its April 4th top, and of course keep you up to date with everything else going on in crypto. Make sure you check out the links to our sponsors, Bybit, another week to go for $4,100 in sign-up bonuses, and of course check out our Patreon for everything to do with our trading portfolios, what we're buying and selling, and other worksheets. I'll see you guys at the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Until then, have more fun to get more done.